So, come on. Disconnected. RTC disconnected. Interesting. Can you guys hear me? Guess not. Let's see.
Action Yugi.
Okay, perfect.
It's a power collection.
Oh,
You don't want to play this game, Trey. You don't
I don't
want
want that one.
These are all ultimate rare. You don't want to play this game.
I have 3 Ulti Maxis.
You have 9 ultimate rare Darkon Dragons?
No.
Alright then.
Do not.
Alright, I think we should be live. Yeah. Alright, so we are live, boys. So for tonight, I'll keep it short because I can't stay long tonight. But we'll do our introductions and then we will do I guess just we can help people out and remind them what they should be doing in order to prep since we do have the return of the in real life events. Simple things. Not like really in-depth things such as like really card-wise, but like just simple things you should be doing in order to making sure you are ready and good to go to events. Because it would be unfortunate for you to spend all the time, money, and energy to attend an event and you just fail, not due to playing a card game, but due to outside factors that have nothing to do with the card game. So, with that being said, I guess we'll start with introductions. Yeah, I think you guys can see from my screen, it's myself first, and Frisco, Sublett, Giancarlo, and then Trey, who finally has video. Look at this man, looking like a brand new man. But it's your boy Eddie St. Hilaire coming at you today again with the Cinco de Mayo team talk session. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Frisco. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, it's Frisco Faz. My favorite ice cream is Haagen-Dazs Dulce de Leche. If you guys ever tried it, it's a little caramel flavor in there. It's delicious.
Oh, dear. What, Mr. Sublett, what's your intro? It's just a wave.
Hey guys, everybody just calls me Sublett, so we'll go with that. I can't sit still, so I shuffle things a lot, as I'm sure you've noticed if you've watched it.
Just say your favorite ice cream, bro. What's your favorite ice cream?
Is that cookies and cream, baby?
I like chocolate.
All right.
What's up, guys? I'm Giancarlo. How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in or watching on YouTube. Somebody in the YouTube comments said I interrupt too much. That's my bad. I'm going to work on that. Try not to do that as much. My favorite ice cream comes from a small farm in Rocky Mountain, Virginia called Homestead Creamery, and it's just a plain chocolate flavor from Homestead Creamery. It's best ice cream in the whole world.
All right.
Well, I'm Trey, and my favorite ice cream is the strawberry blonde that you get at quite a few different, ice cream joints.
So
I've never heard of strawberry blonde ice cream.
I'm dead.
It's news to me, bro.
Oh man, I'm dead. So yeah, let's get some comments from Black Sun Demon. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in, Coop. I appreciate that, man. Big shout out to the realist Caleb for his expertise. Comment section, truly masterful. Pac-Man, the Ghost Killer. What's up? It's Pac-Man. Fear not, I'm here. My favorite ice cream is just an ice cream sandwich. That's actually pretty fun. But yeah, that ice cream sandwich. If it's that M&M ice cream sandwich with the sprinkles, you're on point. But moving on from ice cream, Yeah, I think a huge thing because today is what Wednesday, and I know the gamers event is this weekend. So you have what Thursday, Friday, Saturday, realistically 3 days to prep of what like 3 days prep left before the event actually starts. From I guess I'll start it off so I could kind of give the idea of what I want to hit on today. So the biggest thing I'll tell you guys going into an event, I'm gonna keep away from deck wise because I know someone else will pick that up, so I'll go outside the realm of that. I will tell you guys right now, make sure if you're flying in on Thursday, if you're flying in on Friday, have a meal prep like plan just set up along with water. Because the biggest thing you do not want to run into is trying to play on an empty stomach and or trying to play while you're thirsty slash dehydrated. Because once you start doing that, you're gonna make unoptimal plays, not because you haven't been playtesting, not because you haven't been in this. The stress is gonna get to you guys. Once the stress gets to you guys, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm hungry. I can't play another round. Like that's all one of the mental, I guess, resiliency parts of the game itself. Like this is stuff you can't really, I guess, playtest for, but you can mitigate going into the event itself. Like what I would do is pack a bunch of water in my backpack, or I'd just bring my military camel pack. You guys could go online and get it on Amazon. Today's Wednesday. Well, technically Thursday for Amazon. You guys probably get that thing one day and get it in time for the event, or get it sent to
They have it at
gamers.
Walmart.
Yeah, you can go get it at Walmart, man. Like literally, water is the
Yeah.
biggest key. In my opinion, it should be water for like hydration first, and then you could pack snacks. When I say pack snacks, I'm not talking about honey buns and stuff. Guys, fruits, man, fruits. I know a lot of guys don't like fruits, bananas, bro, apples, all that good stuff. Like, these guys are gonna say honey buns, chips, and yes, those are snacks, but I'm talking about like
I had
actual
honey bun
snacks
today.
that gonna help you. Exactly my point. That's the first thing people are probably thinking. Okay, Eddie, I got you. I'm gonna bring this. No, like actual real, like go bring one of the fruits from the tree of might and exactly one of those during the event, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it'll actually
Yeah.
keep you alert, and it's this is a very very serious tip. Like I know it sounds funny, guys, but literally, I'm not joking. Like this
Yeah.
is something that'll literally keep
No.
you on into the thing because you can ask players like you get to like for instance if you guys see me during Miami, I don't get tired. Like I play my game, I just think of my opponent. I'm like, are you done? When it gets to towards the end, later rounds, you'll see some opponents. They're just like, okay, cool. Oh man, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. All of that is not. Yes, it's misplaced, quote unquote, but realistically, it's coming from fatigue and your mental resiliency is going down because of other factors that are outside the card game. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
just prolong on that. I'll let other people talk. We'll just keep it in the same order of the introductions as it's on the screen itself, and you guys can give a little tidbit on that yourself. So, Frisco, let's see what you got for us, man.
No, yeah, no, you're exactly right. I personally like beef jerky. I make sure I have a lot of protein. Protein keeps me active. That's what. But I 100% agree on the prep. The other prep for the actual tournament itself, I would definitely just focus on something that you're 100% comfortable with, as long as it's a top tier deck. I'm a big proponent of playing what best suits you and then knowing your matchups and not necessarily trying to metagame as much because the meta is too open to try to, yeah, exactly right. It's a little too open to just say like, oh, I'm going to pick this because I'm going to play like 3 or 4 of this deck because probably our game is not big enough or wide enough to say like, hey, you're going to see 70 or 80% of certain amount of matchups is just too widespread because a lot of things are viable right now. So that'd be my biggest thing. Work on your side deck, get games in. Webcam versus in person is a lot different. And you might take for granted how convenient it is being at home and thinking that everything's here. But you have to think about a lot of things that's not going to be in your 5-foot possession that you can just grab to make sure you can actually be prepared for the event. So just keep that in mind too.
Just facts, big facts.
Sublett, what about you?
So on the eating stuff note, I actually never eat anything at an
That's
event
crazy.
or drink anything either.
No,
Normally, just a couple
ridiculous.
of water.
Straight
crazy.
fast? Straight
Yeah.
fast?
Yeah, bro.
It's what I like to call regional mode. My
Yeah.
body just goes full camel. I can't eat anything. I don't notice I'm hungry or anything. I don't know, guys. I don't think eating food is smart at all at an event. If you eat food, you're just going to want to eat more food. Then you're just going to want to leave.
He doesn't. He won't even eat the night of. Like we'll go back to the hotel and he still won't eat that night. I'm like, oh my god, I'm dying. I'm so
That's
hungry.
insane.
I'm gonna destroy a pizza as soon as we get back to the
Wait.
hotel room. and then he'll just he won't even drink water. It's weird, man.
You push
He's
him.
like
No,
like a
I feel
vampire.
no hunger or thirst or anything. Like we used to go on trips, and then I would make an entire 12-hour drive back on one Coke.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
That's
That's why
That's
he's
not
a
good,
skinny
bro.
guy, man. That's why he's so skinny. He doesn't have
That's
to
not
eat.
good though, man.
Very
That's-
energy efficient.
yeah.
It is, yeah. No, it's good to fast.
He would pop some Excedrin and call it a day. Just
Ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
As far as preparing for a tournament goes, I mean, Frisco already said the main thing. You need to know what you're going to play before you get there, and make sure you've got your reps in with it. Make sure that you've got plenty of practice and everything. And then I can just give the same tip that I like to give any new player. When you're going to an event, if this is like your first event, or say your first 5 events or something like that, and you're trying to get better and more competitive at the team, then I recommend that you bring a little notepad with you, and you write down the name of your opponent, what deck they were playing, what round you played them, and then after you're done with that, you write down whether you won or lost, and then you explain why you won or lost. And something beyond, he had 5K more combo. No, it was probably a misstep somewhere along the way. You attacked when you shouldn't have. You comboed when you shouldn't have. You charged the wrong card, something like that. Because if you sit down at the end of your game and you really think about why you lost the game or why you won the game, it will help you be better at the game. And then the next time you see that match, you know, this is how I won the last one. I can follow this route. Or my opponent made a misplay. This person made the same one. I can capitalize on it because I know how to. Or I made a misplay last time. I know not to do that this time. And so that's just a recommendation that I give to the newer players and stuff. Is just record your matches so that you can learn from them.
Big facts. Big facts.
I disagree with everything these guys have said. I think you should get hammered the night before an event. You should wake up, don't drink any water, chug a tall Red Bull, puke in between rounds, and just have a good time. That's how I played every single regional in my Yu-Gi-Oh career, almost like 90% of them like that when I was a younger man. Now that I'm getting older, I like to wake up early, eat fruit, jog. I like to go jogging like as soon as I wake up before an event, take a nice shower, drink a lot of water. Dude, just be if like real talk though, let's be real, like Dragon Ball players, half of y'all are super unhealthy. So you're not gonna take any of this advice because you're not healthy in your regular life. So don't worry about being healthy at an event. Do what I just get hammered and like chug a bunch of Red Bull or Monster Energy. If you're already like a healthy, well organized person, you're probably doing this stuff anyway. It's like telling people to shower at like if you're a 25-year-old Yu-Gi-Oh player who doesn't shower, no amount of YouTuber like telling you to shower is gonna change your life. So you know.
That's probably true.
So yeah, I mean, I can't drink like I used to anymore. I remember the first nationals, I almost got arrested because I was just walking down. I was walking around through where was it, Ohio? I was absolutely wasted. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it was super early, and then it was in Columbus, yeah. And then I had to chug the rest of the. I walked to a bar at like noon because I scrubbed. I like went X2 drop or something. Went to a bar, started pounding back shots. Matt Combs was there. Walked to a liquor store. I had to chug the rest of my bottle before I could go back into the venue, and then I just played side events all day. I won a bunch of side events though. Like it's you don't have to be healthy to play card games. Like you just, sometimes you play better when you're drunk, whatever. But yeah, so just go have fun. That's what I would say. I mean, whatever. If you really want to, so second nationals, I was like super official. Like I was like eating super good. I woke up like 2 hours before we had to be at the venue. I went on like a 1.5 mile jog, came back, showered, drank a bunch of water, had a nice healthy breakfast. I don't even think I drank any caffeine, and then I still scrubbed out anyway, so it didn't matter. But the point is I was trying. I was trying to do better. So yeah. As for prep, you should be prepped for gamers. We're like 8 months in this format. Nothing has changed except that aggro sin now exists or people have figured it out. Nothing has changed in this game for the past 2 months. You should know how to play King Piccolo or Vegex or Dark Broly by now. And you're not going to see anything crazy at Gamers. It's going to be the same old we've had for the past 16 months. That's all I have to say. Trey?
So I will say this. Frisco knows this pretty well. The one thing I will use when I go to an event is at least talk to people about things that I know have been going on in the format. Even if you are not the most kept up the game and you haven't been play testing like Giancarlo and Frisco do, you at least can take your teammates or your play testing groups that you normally would be play testing with information and turn it into valuable knowledge. At Nationals, I did not play test a single game before, probably a month before the event at least. And when I do play, it's usually just at local. So even then, I turned it into doing very well with the deck I picked up and played the night before. So it's you need to transfer the knowledge that you're getting from good players into actual knowledge you can use in the game, rather than just trying to do a bunch of repetitions that may end up doing nothing for you in the real event. These are just things to do to prep.
It's funny you say that, Trey, because that's exactly how you are. I find it crazy that how much you top, but then you're disengaged from the game for X amount of time. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's amazing. One thing that I'll piggyback off that is that one trait that you probably have, I know I have as well. I visualize the game without actually playing it. I can sense how games can turn out within the first 3 to 4 turns without actually playing a game. And that's a skill that's hard to come by, but it'll help you more efficient with testing and figuring out what decks are good or bad without actually spending the time and shuffling cards and playing them. You guys probably know what I'm talking about by just saying that, but it's a trait that you can't really describe or tell people to do or how to do it, but it's just something that you got to pick up over time.
Yeah. So I have an example. I do the same thing. I don't know how I do it. Okay. Yesterday, I was playing King Vegeta on Untap. I lost every single game I played. I was playing y'all's Matt Combs' red-green King Vegeta list. I lost every single game I played on Untap, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing wrong? In my head today at work, I played King Vegeta in my head all day today. I was going through games, going through scenarios, thinking about cards. I came back when I got home from work. I hopped on Untap. I won 6 games in a row. So it's like I just figured out what I was doing wrong in my own head just by thinking about it. You know what I mean? And I don't know how you can learn that as a skill. I just do it. I can't even help it sometimes. I'll just be thinking about cards all day, but I'm trying to do something else.
Yeah.
This is big facts. Yeah, I think that goes into a point I brought up. It was a while ago. I think it was myself and Marcel made a video about this. It was when you're playtesting your deck, you know you're in a very good spot when you're able to pick up that deck and just be in autopilot mode. What I mean by that is when you're playing your deck, you don't have to think. You're just reacting to your opponent. If you find yourself in that position a lot, you know the deck that you have is the correct deck for you. Now, I understand a lot of decks have a lot of different play lines and stuff, but if you find yourself consistently having to sit there and critically think of what your next move is in order to combat your opponent, that is not the deck for you. Because you're doing this while you're still playtesting. Meaning, when you're in an event, early rounds, you're already going to be beat. It's going to be bad because it's going to be at least 5 to 6 rounds. You're going to get beat between 5 to 6 rounds. And on top of that, once top cut hits, your opponent's not going to let you sit. No offense. It's not going to let you sit there and think for plus 60 seconds. You probably have 30 seconds max. And you're like, yo, we got to get this thing going because I'm not trying to be here all day. That's just how it is when you get competitive players together. They expect you to be on the same level they're on no matter what it is. If you're sitting in front of them, they just see a mirror. It's keep the gas on, keep your foot on the gas and keep going. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you guys. When you do find it, though, it feels good. It's hard to explain what that autopilot feels like until you just play the deck. And it's no matter what, you know exactly what you can and can't do. If you lost a game, there's no point of it playing out in your head because it's there's nothing you can do because you know every single card in your deck. The ratios. You don't have to think, oh, how many am I playing? It's fluent for you. And when you get to that point, that's when you really, really, really become a scary player because there's not a lot people can do to stop you because you're not going to misplay. Like it's just it comes natural to you. So that's what I got to say on that.
I just a note on that one. I see what you mean. I do, but I also think that one should be wary about going full autopilot with something because like critical thinking is a big deal in this game. Even with aggro decks, there's some level of critical thinking that autopilot's just not going to do anything. In fact, I would say the best example of a deck going autopilot and losing is just watch any Red Broly game. The deck just does what it thinks it's supposed to do. It's like, oh, turn one I play Vampa and get a 1-drop and blah blah blah. Win on turn 2 because Piccolo Jr. Unison -6. But the problem with that autopilot is it doesn't work in every situation because this is a card game and there's RNG involved, especially in the first couple turns of the game where you make a decision that you would make in any other situation, but it loses you the game in this one because you didn't consider the scenario behind it. I think that while autopilot is a great thing as far as these mental gymnastics that we may use to consider our games, I think that in the moment you should be aware of your own autopilot tendencies and try not to fall into the same pitfalls that your autopilot will try to take you into.
No, I 100% agree with you. Yeah. But when I talk about autopilot, it includes the critical thinking as well. It's like, for instance, when you're playing Red Broly, right, against Dark Broly, realistically speaking, your regular turn plays against everything else is the same. Whereas the Vampa, you want to get your TP, you want to get this stuff going. But against Dark Broly, you should know off rip, it's not that. But it shouldn't be sitting there like, okay, man, we can't do this. That's what I'm talking about autopilot. Like you should see, as soon as you see your opponent's leader, you should know, okay, cool, this is the line of play I'm going to go, and we're just going to go until he stops it. If we see this leader, this is the line we're going to go until he just stops it. It's just like how you said, where the Red Broly example, yes, that is the play. But if you do that against Dark Broly, you instantly just lost the game because you were in autopilot mode. You didn't think about it. You thought this was what you have to do, but no, it's a different deck. You can't go that route.
Yeah, you can. This is right.
Say it again. My bad. Go ahead. It.
I was just going to say there's so few decks in this game that have a single line of play against any other leader.
Yeah, facts.
Absolutely, you can't sit down and see a leader and say, well, I'm going to take this exact line of play. I mean, you shuffle your deck and you draw 6 cards.
Yeah, it could be. It can't be those cards.
You can't just sit down and think that through. You think your lines of play through when you have your 6 cards in your hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, these are my cards, so now I'm going to charge this. Now I'm going to play this.
Right. So I think what Eddie is saying is
I think we're agreeing. We're just saying different.
Yeah,
we're agreeing.
You should play your deck so much that like once you see your 6 cards, you know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Sublett, what you're saying, Red Broly is a perfect example because Red Broly is right now the most linear good deck in the game. Like it is the most linear deck. So if you watch Juha play Joey, if you watch Juha play Joey Palladino at PPG Miami, the finals, Juha is like popping. He just like, I don't know what happened, but like it's just like in the blink of an eye, he goes from winning the game to losing the game just because he just autopiloted, like, I'm just going to do this. He didn't consider his opponent's deck or what his opponent's deck could do. He just got, like, he like you said, he negged 6 Piccolo Jr. Unison, and then he lost the game at some point because, like, all he did was, like, turn cards sideways. And like,
yeah, he went to autopilot and forgot the Vegeta. It lingers because he cleared the Vegeta, and he completely forgot that even the Vegeta's gone, he still can't attack through. And it was like, well, that's a big-ass, like, forget because – you neg 6 your Piccolo, like there's nothing you can do. You have to win at that time and point. So yeah.
Well, it wasn't just he just. I'm not trying to roast my guy. You know, we all like Juha, obviously, he's on the team, but there were several small things that just autopilot like is if it's probably not going to be super efficient. Like you're not going to be as efficient as possible playing on autopilot. So like what Sublett is saying is like, yeah, you can autopilot a lot of games. Like if probably like half of a tournament you can get by with autopiloting. You're gonna run into a player that makes you turn on, the actual play. So it's like, if you're gonna try to autopilot against a really good player, and you're not playing super efficiently, like you're just gonna lose game 1, and then you're gonna have to like wake up after that. It's like they say like boxers, like they get a little blood in your mouth and like you get engaged. It's like the same thing.
Everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Yeah, something
That's
like
the
that.
saying. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Were you trying to say something, Trey? Sorry.
Yeah, this ironically goes into the topic of what I wanted to discuss tonight. If you guys want to go ahead and go into that, it makes
Oh yeah.
transition.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So, my topic that I wanted to speak about tonight was how to turn the knowledge that you have about what your opponent wants to do into a win condition. So, for example, Red Broly, as we studied here, we just transition straight in for this. I'm playing Yellow, so Yellow already has a good matchup against Broly, just by design. But this is perfect, because I've actually experienced this. Dude was playing Red Broly, just doing wombo combo, doing this thing, and he awakened his leader, and then attacked with I think it was the 4-cost Broly, and he thought he was just going to be able to swap straight into his 5 afterward. No, I just hit him with the Zamasu super combo, rested his leader, Bergamo, tapped him out, and then killed him. So it's very possible to know what your opponent's about to do. Let's turn that into an advantage for me to turn it over on him. Especially I know that he can't violent raise me tapped out. He has no other way to respond to me other than super combo, and he happened to only see 0 super combos, so he just died or lost his entire hand on the clapback, which is it's a small example of this. Big example of this was when Shenron format. You knew that they are trying to ult for Gogeta every time. That's what they did. So your goal is to make them not be able to do this, obviously, somehow, some way, or make it to where it doesn't affect you as much. As in, you maintain your life. You do something to make this win condition that they have not as possible. So that's just we're gonna piggyback and just toss this around because they can go so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think it goes to what we were talking about earlier when these guys were saying, hey, know what the decks do. Because it's just like you said, if you understand what your opponent's trying to do, you can mitigate the ways that they're going to do that. Like, if I'm going against Mega Freeze and I'm playing Dark Broly, I understand, okay, cool. If I tap out turn 1, is it really worth giving him 2 extra cards along with this annoying wolf that I'm about to clear from this point forward? Because if I don't, he's going to start tapping my energy. Then it's going to get rough because routines are going to come out and stuff like that. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you when you say understand what your opponent is trying to do, what they're capable of doing. Because once you understand that, their decks, and when I say their decks, specifically, I'm referring to King Vegeta because as Giancarlo saw, I told you, King Vegeta's people sleep on it. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and coach people how to play the deck because I hate playing against that deck. That is probably, I thought Invoker was my most annoying deck ever. But I'm telling you right now, I think I'd rather play Invoker than King Vegeta. That deck, when I play, is just, it's a handful, dude. That shit is super annoying.
That's what I wanted to talk about was King Vegeta. So there's 2 versions, right? There's red, green, and there's mono red, and maybe there's more versions, but like those are the 2 most prominent ones in people's minds. You said you lost to it with Forgex. I 3-0'd like a really good player who was playing mono red King Vegeta, and I was playing Forgex, and I beat him 3-0. And I just I was like, this matchup's so easy. I was like, how do you lose this matchup? So it's pretty funny. I just wanted to get your opinions on why'd you lose? Like that's all. That's like how I've been saying it like the past 2 team talks, right? You already know how I won. I do the same thing every game. You already know how I won, dog.
Oh man.
On turn 2, I played Demigra. I turned it sideways, and then 3 turns later, I won the game. It was Kate. It was easy. None of them games were close at all. And I was like, to the point where I was like, there's no way that Vegex should lose to King Vegeta. Like, I would almost not that nothing's 100-0, right? But if I had to play 100 games versus King Vegeta as Vegex, I'd be winning the majority of them. Absolutely, I'd be winning most of them.
I really want to coach people because people are going to watch this and listen to my response. I really don't want to say how. All I will say is that deck is annoying to play against. But
I'll coach him, bro. King Vegeta is actually really good. So I thought it was bad at first, right? But then you have to look at it as the whole scope. So you have your invaders, which is just it's not an attack, but it's a guaranteed damage. To go along with your invader, yeah. to go along with your Invader, you have Bardock the Resolute, which is a double striker that on like imagine like this is turn 1, right? So like you have a double striker that they can't really effectively negate the attack, okay? Then you can summon both Vegetas in one turn, as long as your opponent goes first. You can summon both Vegetas. Then you have your leader attack, and then on turn 2, if you're playing red-green, you have Piccolo. And then on turn 3, you can double Piccolo if you save your Awaken. So like the aggression that comes from the red-green version is like it has this huge ceiling on like turn 1 and 2, whereas the red version has that same ceiling, except instead of Piccolo, you just play on turn 3, you play the 5-drop that evolves over a 3-cost Vegeta. So it's very similar, but it's just that the damage ceiling for the deck is really high. And then if you're playing red-green, you're playing a rival, which means you have Resonant Explosion. And then that card's just good, right? Nappa into Resonant Explosion is just good now. So I don't think either version of the deck is better than a color that already exists. So like red-green King Vegeta to me feels like a worse launch deck, and mono red feels like a worse King Piccolo. Now, where it shines is the matchups. Like King Vegeta is going to beat Mecha Frieza. It's probably going to beat King Piccolo, and it probably has other really good matchups. But like those are two like really prevalent tier 1 decks.
Yeah. The main thing with King Piccolo or King Vegeta to notate with like the launch comparison, I play a lot of red green launch back. The main thing is it kind of gasses out, right? So so King Vegeta can solve that because they can play SS3 Gohan, and the King Vegeta has a way to compress their life quicker with Invaders and Piccolo to bring them down a smaller amount of life to actually just like auto win the game. That's one benefit of playing King Vegeta.
Now, what's broken is you awaken when your opponent is at 4 life.
Right.
And your opponent is gonna be at 4 life. Like that's how the deck works. And then on turn 3, you can just play double Piccolo, and it's like, all right, GG. Like you better have double negate or triple negate in some cases. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The deck's really good. I think it's gonna be a deck that falls out of favor very quickly once people figure out how to play against it. When they summon the Invader, just combo it. Attack with your leader, tap 1, and combo it. Like, as soon as you kill the Invader on your side of the field, like, it cuts off so many of their plays. Like, it reduces the amount of plays they can do by half. Like, because instead of summoning 2 Vegetas, they can only summon 1 max. And then they're going to have to pick which Vegeta's better. You know, and then just don't play, like, cards that immediately die when they lose 5 to 10k battle power. Like, don't summon Black Mass Sand. It's just going to die. Don't summon, like, a 15k. Don't like, expect a 15k to do anything. Like, if you summon a 15k, it's going to die. Learn how to play around King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. That card is really good, but it's actually just a Senzu Bean. Like, if you really think about it, that card is only Senzu Bean. So, like, just play around Senzu Bean, and you're going to play around that card. So, like, the deck, like, I never think this deck will be widely successful because in the beginning of the set, people are not going to have promos. And by the middle of the set, people are going to figure out how to play it. Yes, like, competitive players will have promos because if I really wanted to play the deck, I would just buy the promos. But I'm not going to drop $200 on promos for a deck I don't think is that good. But you'll see it top because, like, it's a good enough deck to top. And if you play against Mecha Frieza, you're gonna win because it's probably a horrible matchup. You know what I mean? So, like, Mecha Frieza, like, everything Mecha Frieza plays is like a 20k without barrier, dead. Like, if they play Bojack, good for them. But, like, Bojack's not winning the game; it's a single striker. So, like, it's just yeah.
The main issue with Piccolo 2-drop is that, one, it is a 2-drop and it costs 2 energy. And typically, when you play that card or they have that card in your deck is solely revolved around that card, and then when your opponent can actually side deck answers to it, your deck's going to feel a lot worse, right? Because there's so many answers to it. It's best when it's not expected. It's going to be at the worst when it is expected.
Absolutely, yeah. And I would say probably the mono red version is the better version. They again, I've only been playtesting the deck for 2 days, but like I just feel like the mono red version is better. Like red green is so like, I don't know, gimmicky. Like red green is really gimmicky. Like you said, like it wins or dies by Piccolo. I played 3 Piccolo in one game and didn't even win. And I was like, oh my god, bro, this deck sucks. Like I'm doing something crazy wrong. No, like my opponent was just drawing broken. And then I don't know. I felt like I was gonna say more, but yeah, King Vegeta is a good deck. I was wrong. I thought the deck sucked, but I just needed to play it more. But yeah, I don't think it's that good actually. Like I think it has a lot of hype around it, and then it'll die down pretty quick once people learn how to play around it. And oh yeah, I don't like Gohan. I don't understand the point of playing a 4-drop in an aggro deck. I would just side it against Baby, like something like Baby, where it's like you're getting to turn 4 and it's really hard to attack Baby. You can just play Gohan. But it's like if I'm playing against Regex, like I'm not playing Gohan. Like I have to tap out for it on turn 4. So like it's tough. I don't know about that.
Well, for whatever it's worth, the 10-drop ramps you a card and you can blow up the other tapped energy in your. So you can keep one on tap. I understand what you're saying, but you don't actually.
The who?
Oh, you talking about the red green? I'm thinking of blue.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about SS3 Gohan, the promo, the one that you were talking about. I cut it from the deck immediately. Go ahead, Sublett.
I was just gonna say, Frisco. That's exactly what I was thinking too. And this whole time, I'm like, how do we get to blue Gohan?
No, yeah.
Where did that happen?
No. Yeah, I'm talking about the 4-drop Gohan. I think it's a great sideboard card. I just really don't understand the point in manning it because it's like I'm not trying to get to turn 4, so why would I play a 4-drop? If you're playing an aggro deck, you shouldn't have a backup strategy. You should just win the game. Like Eddie, when you play Dark Broly, you don't play negates because at least you don't have a backup strategy because you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to win the game, then win the game or lose. Like go to game 2. That's how I feel about it.
Yes.
I have a talking
But
point.
I also don't play aggro, so like I don't, you know what I mean?
What?
Go ahead,
What?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Eddie,
so-
my bad.
I was just going to say I also had a talking point because originally we were just going to go over talking points. So here's an interesting one. It sort of just completely changes topics from King Vegeta to the game in general. Is what do you guys consider to be fundamentals of Dragon Ball Super? So I think that there are 3 things that define the fundamentals of the game. Before I go through them, let me just quickly explain to you what I mean by fundamental. This is something that applies to you playing the game Dragon Ball Super card game. Okay? It doesn't matter anything further than that. Your leader, your deck type, your playstyle, none of that matters for this conversation. The skills that you need to have to be good at playing the game. I think there are 3 of them. I think that it is charging, and along the same vein, anytime you have to have a card leave your hand. So like discard, warp, bottom deck, when you make a decision about a card that leaves your hand. Okay? The second one is attacking. You need to know how to attack in this game. And then the third one is comboing. Okay? So for example, attacking. If you're playing against a Dark Broly player, okay, and your leader says when this card attacks, draw a card. You're tempted to attack their leader to draw a card. What you do is you give them 1 life. So if they went first, they took a life. They go to 7. You hit them. They go to 6. Their leader effect goes to 5. Now if they have 1 of the Goku or Black Mat Saiyan, they can actually awaken that turn and hit you with Fleet. All because you made the decision to do that. Right? You made that decision to go in and draw 1 card, and because of it, you lost the game. And so this is like an old kind of play style where you didn't want to attack your opponent's leader because you couldn't survive the crackback. And by giving them that 1 card, you actually furthered their game state. Comboing is like when I attack, a lot of people say, is there a magic number to combo to guarantee a damage in? And the answer to that is no. Of course, there isn't a magic number. But if your opponent is at a number of life where they can super combo, if you want to push damage or value, you want to hit them with a 25 on an awakened leader or 20 on an unawakened, because that's a super combo, plus they have to discard a card to stay out of the damage. So that's kind of a factor that comes into comboing, knowing when to play the combos, when to over combo, when to under combo, when to take a hit. That's all factors into comboing. And then as far as charging and discarding, you have to understand, how do I mitigate my hand to the current situation and the situation the game will eventually turn to? Like, for example, if you're a baby player, on turn 1, you don't want to charge your only copy of Android 17 Turning the Tide.
Oh no, yeah, I heard that was a pretty good play.
Because if you do, like Chesko did, you lose to Invoker. Because you've charged your only win condition. It's not just about what's the worst card in your hand at that moment. It's also about how do you plan to play that game and win that game. And so you can't charge something that's important to the match. It's more than just the worst card in your hand. And so I think that these are the 3 core fundamentals that if you really want to be good at this game, you have to get good at.
Yeah.
And once you have an understanding in those, then it doesn't matter if it's a control deck or an aggro deck or a mid-range deck. It doesn't matter what your leader is or what color it is, because you know how to play the game well. So you can feel your way through any of the other situations. What do you guys think?
Can I do one caveat on that? Yes, I charged my win con on turn 1. Okay. We were talking about autopilot earlier. Okay. Sometimes I played every single webcam event in autopilot mode. Okay, and yeah, I like saw you draw your opening 6. I'm like, oh, 7 energy. I'm not playing that for 6 turns, and then I just charged it, and then I lost. Okay, look, that's what I'm saying. Like, try not to go into autopilot, or you end up doing stupid stuff. So, anyway, God, that's it. We're all human.
I think a lot of what you were describing is like math at its core. So a lot of it is with like statistics and how you plan on winning the game. I judge or I make a lot of decisions based off the ability to see that card in the future and how much I need it. I'm really big into that, and as far as mulliganing and stuff like that, and what to charge and stuff like that. Once you understand a little bit of that, obviously math is not always going to go in your favor and it's always going to bite you, but it's a good idea to understand that the probabilities and stuff like that. Don't have to become a statistics major or anything like that, but just kind of understanding the probability and things of happening and things like that. And sometimes that risk is worth the reward at certain parts of the games if you ask the question, am I going to lose next turn? And if you answer that question, yes, you are going to lose next turn, you might as well try to win the game, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
and
sense.
if you're curious about the statistics thing, it's called hypergeometric distribution calculation.
How do you spell that? I'm just kidding.
All right,
I'm just kidding.
Geometric, G-E-O.
Don't do it. No, don't. I was just kidding.
Distribution calculation. You can Google that. People have done these calculations before, especially for Magic the Gathering. And you can find out probabilities of opening a certain card in your hand. Like, for example, Tournament of Power Arena, 40-card deck has like a 40.6 or something like that % chance of being in your opening hand. And so when you see a statistic like that, I'm using Invoker as an example because it's the one that's most relevant to me, and so I have the best examples for it. If you know that, then that means that if you're going to play this deck, you cannot get frustrated when you don't see this card in your opening hand, because statistically speaking, you shouldn't. That's just how it works. More often than not, you're not going to open with it. So what does that mean? Do you need to alter ratios in your deck, add things that search it, or do you need to learn how to play without it? Things like that. So then a different example would be like Sin Shenron. They want to open aggro Sin. They want to open with the chicken ball. But they don't need to see it that often. They just need to see it on turn 1, or sometimes turn 2 is okay. And so they play 7 copies of it instead of 4 to increase their chances of seeing it, along with all the other things that search it. And it works out in your favor that more games than not, you're actually going to see the chicken ball than you're not going to see the chicken ball. And so that means you can literally build your entire strategy around seeing the chicken ball. Okay? So like you're saying, these statistics and everything, they're very important when you're building a deck, and understanding what your goals in the deck are, what turn you need to see a card by, and how you can increase those chances. So like U7 Frieza. Love U7 Frieza so much. You built the entire deck to beat your opponent with Victory Strike. But the problem is a secret rare. There's only 1 in the 50 cards. So what are your realistic chances of finding it? So now you have to think of sequencing. What is the proper sequence that gains me the highest probability of finding the card, and so on? So like the math does play a big role into this, and And it's very important to consider numbers like that when you're building your deck and when you're developing your play style with that deck.
All right, let's catch up on the comments, real quick. Take engine, man.
I just
Giancarlo,
I just heard chicken egg.
you're being a bad example,
Involved.
man. Do
It
not get
involves you.
drunk before. I don't know about gamers, but do not show up to PPG drunk or high because you will be rejected at the door, guys. Don't trust me. Don't do it. Do not do
No,
not
I said
do it.
I said hungover.
Yeah,
I said
do
hungover. I
not
didn't say show up drunk.
You will not get in. You will not get a refund, bro. Trust me. Don't do it. Don't do it. What's up, Artie? What's up? What's up? Let me focus on
He didn't say
competing the game itself.
I did not say show up drunk. I said drink on your own private time, not on game time. You can't help if you're hungover. You can't help it.
It says, Eddie, what other decks do you play? I've been playing around hand control, but realistically speaking, if I was to play at a tournament, it would be either Rejects or Dark Broly. Because I think it depends on the deck.
What?
Sublett,
No way.
Autopilots.
No way.
I need power to send. Oh yeah, for Mecha, yeah, you do. Eddie's back as in play. I've been actually playing around with Demigra, and it's like I don't know. I still don't know yet. I'm not sold, but maybe.
Is that for Demigra?
No. Your Demigra, your 2-drop Demigra.
Best 2-drop in the game, Chuck.
Oh, got you.
You're BFF, bro.
Got you, dude. Yeah.
Trainer. Yeah.
He's the best 2-drop.
It says, Eddie, I want to hear your thoughts on King Cole. We can have that for these guys for King Cole. All right, so you want to hear about King Cole? Do you think Vegeta before for all his wasn't? Yeah. Okay. So all right. Autopilot maybe. All right. So I think you guys are getting my autopilot phrase confused. When I say autopilot, that's not don't think. It's like you play the deck long enough, you're not gonna make those. Like you charging the Android 17 is not autopilot. That's just you making a mental error. Autopilot. When I say autopilot, guys, it's literally if I'm playing this guy, right? Most of the plays that I do, for me, I don't have to think. It's literally me reacting to, especially this deck, because this just literally reacts to what your opponent does. Now, if I'm playing Vegeta, because it's easy to describe everything autopilot with this deck, because literally you can sit there and just, especially if you're going second, just wait till your opponent to make a move, and this is okay, cool. You have a threat? Okay, you don't have a threat. Hey, you're playing Majin Vegeta, you're playing Reba Gohan. Do I just sit on the blocker and a brainwash? That's what I'm talking about with autopilot, guys. So let's use a better example like Vegeta. We actually have to think more. Vegeta. If I were to play Vegeta right now, and let's say a very popular deck, because this is preset 13 for gamers, would be something like Mecha Frieza, would be something like King Piccolo. What I mean by autopilot, you're still thinking, but it's minimal thinking. It's not critical thinking because it's simple for you. You know the cards in your deck that lock those decks down, such as King Piccolo and Mecha Frieza, is going to be the Dark Power Black Man Saiyan. Now with that, King Piccolo does have an answer, but they're going to neg 2 in order to answer that. So once again, this is what I'm talking about autopilot. I'm not thinking about that. I know they can answer it. So the 2 cards I'm looking for is Power Burst and it's Dark Power Black Man Saiyan. So once they take it, I'm just going to loop it. That doesn't require thinking. For some people, it does require thinking because as soon as their Dark Power Black Man Saiyan gets popped, it's like, well, damn, I forgot they can do that. I forgot they can do this. Realistically speaking, if you really master the deck, you understand that. So now the 3rd card, that's going to be my mulligan hand, but if it's not, it's okay because we're still looping. Dark Power Black Man Saiyan, Power Burst, and it's the 6-drop Secret Identity. Once you have those 3 cards, I mean, the game becomes so simple. It's like, okay, cool, make your move. Against that or against Mecha Frieza, it's just make your move. You make your move, okay, cool, respawn. You somehow have the answer, okay, cool, Power Burst, I get it back. Respawn again. That's what I'm talking about autopilot, guys. Don't confuse autopilot of going brain dead. If you go brain dead, that is not autopilot. That's just you not thinking and you just letting Jesus take the wheel on a game that you should be taking the wheel on, guys. It's not going to bode well for you guys. So do not think you don't critical think in autopilot mode. I think people are getting confused in the comment section. So because the first or second person experience has it. Yeah, exactly. Like I already know what I'm doing with these decks. Like when I play these decks, it's just I literally react. I don't play proactive no more. I'm just okay. What do you want to do? If you don't make a play, then I'm gonna make a play. Now you have to stop me. We have Fighting Against Fate winner promo, best looking card in the game. Yeah, winner promo does look nice. That man said my shadow. He said my shadow looks mad. I had to look at my shadow. It says my shadow looks mad. One of the most important things in the card game is just knowledge. Yeah. I was gonna say that to go on what Sublett said. I believe what he said was 100% correct. I don't think these are the only three, because what I was going to add to that, guaranteed at least one more, is your knowledge of every card in the game. So the fact that I knew the SS4 Bardock was a thing, I promise you, I think up to this day, I'm probably the only person that still plays it in Dark Broly. That thing is just so free, because the mirror match, the way they're going to try to slow you down, it's either the Tenacious Bardock, which is don't do it, guys, because it's just, trust me, in the mirror match, you're just asking for trouble, or it's going to be Mecha Cabrera. Now, if you pay 2 energy for Mecha Cabrera, me understanding and knowing all the cards in the library at that time and point, I said, okay, cool. An easy way to mitigate that costs 0 energy is the SS4 Bardock. It's a dual attack, 25k. So realistically speaking, if I have 2 like double strikes in my hand, I can get 4 damage off in a blink of an eye. So you just tap 2 to literally get potentially quad strike. So I 100% agree with you understanding like all 3 points that Sublett, I'm not gonna lie, it's correct. I just think there's more to it than that. But what he said, those are fundamentals at its very, very core, which is also true.
I think Sublett would like to say something
Oh,
in
my bad.
response.
Go ahead.
I think I would argue that that's not necessarily fundamental. I think that's more situational.
What do you mean? Which point?
So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what your leader is or your opponent's leader is.
Mhm.
These are the things you know about how to play the game.
Yeah.
Knowing every card in the game doesn't actually change how to play the game, and it doesn't affect how to play the game. It affects how you play in a situation, but it doesn't. But the card knowledge itself isn't technically fundamental, because it's always changing. And so this is just more the terminology that I'm arguing on this one. I'm not saying that it's not important. It's completely important that you understand every card, or at the very least every meta relevant card. But as far as a fundamental goes, at its purest definition, I believe that's more situational than fundamental.
That makes sense. We have Swift Cooler is balanced. That is a hard negative.
Swift Retaliation is balanced.
That is a hard negative. That is a banned card, except for paying 1, you're paying 3, dude. Like, especially in a world where you could drop cells for 0 energy, dude. Yeah. That is wild.
Did you know that opinions can be wrong?
Everyone's entitled to opinions. Yeah, everyone's entitled to opinions, but man.
I want to add on. Can I add on something real quick to the knowing every card?
Yeah.
I think right now it's easier than it's ever been, except in set 1 when it's easier than it's almost ever been to know every card, because like Unison Warrior Block made every deck play the exact same cards. Like green, you're gonna like green has the green 16. It's about to be like the green 12 now that Roshi's banned, but like green has the green cards. You know that they're gonna play. Friggin' red has the red cards. You know, like blue has God Sealing. It has like now you know every card that every deck is gonna play. Unison Warrior Block has made that so easy. So if I sit against the yellow deck that I like, I don't know what this does. Let's say like androids. I haven't read a single android card from set 13. They're probably playing Mecha Frieza, Robotic Riposte. Again, I haven't read a single card from that archetype, but they're probably playing like maybe Nimbus, maybe Frieza. They're definitely playing Final Flash. That card's broken. If I play against a green deck like King Cold, I haven't read but 2 King Cold cards, and I'm not going to read any more. I know it plays Dormant. I know it plays Frieza, and it plays whatever Unison it plays. Like these are just, and they play like Shocking Death Ball. Like these are just things you should know. And Unison Warrior Block just made it so easy to know what like 90% of the cards in your opponent's deck are going to be as soon as you sit down.
This is true. This is 100% true. Finishing up on the comment section, Travis says 5 years ago I signed a commitment to quit drinking at AA meeting. President, I'm gonna
that's a troll. He's trolling.
Eddie's low. Eddie's just thinking. I don't need math. I need 30Ks and brain. I mean, when you play Dark Broly, bro, math becomes very simplistic when they say no negates, bro. Like, once those cards start dropping from their hands, and then you understand, hey, he's playing this super combo that draws 0 cards, math becomes very simplistic as a Dark Broly.
100,000 is a lot, and if it's more than 70,000, so I'm probably gonna win the game. That's that's Dark Broly math.
Chicken Ed's crack the egg, plated chicken. All these sisters have been amazing. Appreciate it. That man said, I'm high all the time. Guys, don't show up at any and Ben events, guys. I'm telling you, like in the waiver, if you show up, I'm dead serious. If you show up high or drunk, these TOs can't turn you around with no refunds. I'm not even trying. Like those waivers you sign before the events, that's literally what it says. Because a lot of players, I understand you come from Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're on some substances. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, you get some leeway, but don't
Yu-Gi-Oh being attacked right now.
don't do
They're
it, bro.
degenerates.
Yeah,
They
I'm
play
telling you.
degenerate decks,
Yeah.
and they're degenerates in real life too.
Don't do it. I don't promote any of those substances, man. Like, trust me.
Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, somebody sell me a Ghost Rare Dark Magician. Yeah, I'm gonna hit up George. Hopefully he has one.
Kind of harvest on Discord and see what sure we can see. Can we see a competitive red decks to get running away with no violent rays? 100%. Any red Saiyan.
Absolutely.
Honestly speaking, if I'm playing red Broly, I'm dropping my violent rays and I'm playing the Vegeta SR. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that SR no more because it's bringing nightmares to me when I play against that deck.
No, I agree with Eddie. If I'm playing red Broly,
there's no point of pitching two cards. Yeah, exactly. You pitch one card.
You want to tap out.
Yeah.
No, you pitch two cards either way, right?
Yeah, you do. But like
intimidating. The difference is intimidating presence costs 0 energy, and violent rays cost 1. Now you can side deck violent rays because it's a great card, but Dark Broly is not super popular in the meta anymore. And let's be real, Sin Shenron is just going to cooler your violent rays, so it doesn't matter. And also you're probably not getting to turn 3 in that matchup anyway, so whatever. Like now, King Piccolo, yeah, you're probably going to want a couple violent rays. If you don't have violent rays, you can just play testing the ops. Like it's testing the opposition is good enough. If you'd rather spend 40 cents than $40, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with not playing violent rays right now. But get your hands on 2 of them and call it a day. Like you're going to want them somewhere in your main or sideboard, unless you're playing red Broly. Yeah, you're going to want them.
As an Invoker player, I can vouch for the fact that everyone else should stop running hard negates and replace it with this 9. Completely unbiased opinion, has nothing to do with Victory Strike or Apex. Who said Apex?
So, a quick point about imposing presence. I know, Giancarlo, you made a point that it's like a Sensu Bean. The cool thing that in comparison to Sensu Bean, it gives everything Sensu Bean, right? So anything they attack with, it gets -5, so it actually helps like protect unisons. And things that go up chains, they have to give that same chain piece minus the same amount of power. So some things have like dual attack or they evolve and stuff like that. They shrink the same battle card. So it's a little bit better than Sensu Bean, but it is very.
No, I agree. Well, better than Sensu Bean.
It's
I'm just kidding.
Sensu Bean defensively.
Yes, yeah. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Yeah, it's a good card, but like if I'm just attacking your leader, it's Sensu Bean. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Sensu Bean was saving the entire game for a solid 2 formats. So
yes, it was. We have
good card.
Go full potato, 100%. Guys, do not confuse Autopilot with going brain dead. Please don't do that. Like, do not confuse that. You will get destroyed, like utterly destroyed. Does Phil have a Patreon? No, we don't have a Patreon, but PPG does. And I know the 3XG guys were doing content on there. I have pretty much I have content. There's a lot of us that have like really, really in-depth contact. Like the people want to see my Dark Broly list. Like when I actually went step by step. It's like damn near an hour long, but it's on the Patreon. I'm not gonna do that on here. That's way too long. But yeah, go to PPG's Patreon. It's like PPG DBS Patreon, whatever it is. And don't sleep on Battle Evil negates. Yeah, I love those negates. Those Battle Evil negates, very, very budget negates. Is Trey here? His soul might be here, but his body might be in the Shadow Realm. Or I said that vice versa, or his body might be here, but his soul might be in the Shadow Realm. If I just see like the little turning tables on his thing. So these decks that are 2 box require skill. Yep, that's fine. I think a lot of decks would play Zeno or Supreme Kai before a Boo Secret Rare. I would say so.
Yeah, Boo Secret Rare. No, Boo Secret Rare is pretty good.
It's good, but it's the fact that it sucks that you can't use it on. You have to use it on a battle card, right? You can't use it when your leader attacks. Yeah, that's the rough part about it.
I think you can use it on Unison. I think it just says non-leader.
Just non-leader. Yeah, non-leader. Yeah, that's rough, man. That's super rough.
That's like very limited though, because you're attacking with a triple striker. Like they're gonna negate your triple striker, then you're gonna boo. The thing is that like, if you're playing a control green deck, you don't need a counter, and if you're playing an aggro green deck, you don't need Cell Zeno, because you're not going to be able to Cell Zeno. Like Majin Vegeta cannot effectively Cell Zeno. It can't. You know, it's such a crapshoot in that deck to get 12 on the board. So you're going to play, Monkey or counter. But like Green Broly, set 1 Green Broly, which is the best green deck, period. You're playing Big Monkey, or you could play Kai, or you can play Lineage, whatever. But you're not playing counter.
kind of
think-
want Monkey because like that tap 5 for game is relevant.
Yeah,
I,
I play Big Monkey. That's what I play.
Monkey's
I
Yeah.
challenge that statement. I think Slug's the best green deck right now, but that's just me.
Now, I think Slug would beat Green Broly, but it's not the best green deck at all.
I thought Slug was good until I actually read the cards. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It said because you didn't see the up to. I had the same issue. I
Exactly
was like,
my
yeah,
point.
these cards are pretty good.
No, no,
But then I was
exactly.
like,
You
your
get the
opponent returns up to 2 cards. Oh, so my
Yeah.
opponent draws 10 cards and then finds their win con and then kills me.
no. It's
That's
like
fair.
when I was playing at the invitation. That's why I say, guys, another thing you have to read your cards, not listen to your opponent. So I'm not gonna say names, but someone was telling me to just draw cards. But if I just picked up the card itself, it said draw cards
Yeah.
at the end of your turn, you could bottom deck those cards. So that
Yeah.
tie would have got wouldn't have been a tie, would have just been a win. But yeah, that's what you get for not reading cards, guys. Don't ever just, no matter who the player is, don't listen to them. Pick the card up if you don't know it and read the card because I went from a win to a test. Not something I want to do.
Because they might not even be doing it on purpose. I'm a serial non-card reader.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just mess up because I don't even read my own cards half the time. So like I don't know what my own cards do sometimes. So I can't tell you what it does because I don't even know myself.
Oh, dead.
You're just making effects up on your cards.
That's bad. I'm done.
That's a
My
good
boy.
thing. I always like to use foreign cards like German or Italian or French because then I have an excuse for not knowing what they do.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah, I think we.
It's even worse in Yu-Gi-Oh too because Yu-Gi-Oh is way more like worded technically than Dragon Ball. Like, so if your card is in a different language, I'm just assume you're cheating. I'm just kidding.
Pokemon card.
So.
It's got all the words on it. Literally all the words.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we caught up on all the comments from the comment section. I guess we can start on closing comments. And then, guys, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave them there. And when I do my closing comments, I'll be sure to address them. I know you said you wanted to hear us talk about King Cole. I'm not gonna lie to you. I played that deck like twice. I don't know if it's I was playing that really. It's not a deck to me, but I'll do my research on it. And the guys, whoever's here next time, you do some research on it, and we could talk to you and go in depth. Not in depth, because I'm not going to go in depth on that deck. That deck is just like it's not something you go in depth about. But I'll talk to you.
I'll read the cards. I'm not going to play test it. I'll read it.
I'll give you a quick synopsis. It's not going to be good. I mean, if you want to have fun at the locals and have a good time, go for it. But it's not going to be a super competitive deck.
If you want to play
news for you.
Yeah, if you want to play a green control deck with field spells, just play set 1 green Broly. The deck's amazing. It is without a doubt. I'm not kidding. It is without a doubt the best green deck in the format. It's not even close.
Yeah. Okay.
What about green Gotenks?
Gotenks sucks.
Dang, shots fired. Yeah, we'll start with closing comments.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Frisco, then Sublett, then Giancarlo, and then Trey, if he's found his way out the shadow realm, could give his closing comments.
I can see Trey's camera. I've been able to see his camera.
I can see his camera too.
Oh, you can?
My closing comments. So yeah, I can see him too.
I don't know why I can't see.
He's over there finding the Ghost Red Dark Magician for me. That's what he's been looking for this whole time.
I can't see Eddie or Matt.
You can't see it. Oh, really? Oh, you might need to refresh your screen.
I can see everybody.
Oh yeah, closing comments. My PC is about to die. All
So-
right, Frisco, go ahead.
So yeah, closing comment. So my biggest advice is always challenge the norm. If you think something's not good, or if you think something is good, make sure you challenge the assumptions. That's a lot of what I do as far as like deck building and theory crafting and things like that, and trying to apply different ways of like engines or cards, and just trying to find favorite cards and trying to build around them and just try to have fun with it. So that's my closing comment. Challenge the norm, challenge your assumptions. There you go.
The
That
doctor.
Rocky Mountain that Chesko was talking about. Did you say doctor?
The doctor.
Dr. David.
Technically, I am Dr. Sublett, yes, but regardless of that, I was just going to say as my closing comments, that Rocky Mountain ice cream place Chesko was talking about is pretty legit.
Oh yeah, bro, that place is nuts. That's the best ice cream in the whole world. Everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you were entertained. Taking time out of your day to hang out with us and listen to us ramble on about cards. It's pretty cool. I've been really enjoying these team talks. I think it was a really good decision joining PPG. I've enjoyed it very much. So thank you, Eddie. FOE/PPG. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't have much to say other than that.
Chicken ball.
Chicken ball.
Very subclass.
So I will say this. I know a lot of cards seem decent before you try them out. So I'll say this: if you didn't pick up this card, I don't know if you I know Eddie can't see, but if you didn't pick up this card before when it was like $10, $15, $20,
You gotta tell them what it is because they can't see you on my screen.
it's Goku Black Divine Prosperity, the champ promo.
Try to exit the Discord and rejoin it, so maybe it'll show up on my screen.
I did it earlier. It's not doing anything.
Okay.
But this card is overperformed in playtesting. It's not like the most widely like used card. If you're playing anything that has blue and yellow in it, this card is probably worth it in your main or side. It's really good against hard.
It's on the Goku Black.
Yeah,
It's a free negate.
Yeah.
Tap 2 on tap 2.
Somebody check Trey's TCG. People talk. Shut the fuck up, Sheila. Bitch ass motherfucker.
Hey, wait, whoa! Eddie just came back. Make sure it's.
We're not streaming. I'm looking at the stream right now.
What's going on? Man? You guys are going crazy?
No.
I think we are streaming, my friend. I hope you guys didn't say nothing fucking crazy.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Streaming.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Stratos here. I will.
We're back online, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we're still online. It's showing on my screen. All right, so let's finish the closing comments. Where were we at? Was it me? Was it Trey? Trey, did you give your closing comments? You were talking about the Goku Black promo, I think.
Oh yeah. This card is sick, and just the fact that this can be pitched off of a Bojack and stop an attack for free, and then at worst, after it comes on board, you just combo with it, and it becomes another body on board that can potentially be rested or whatever for a post, or however you want to use it. It has so many applications. Card is busted.
Trey, man, when you come to one of these, we gotta show you some other decks, man. I don't know what's going on at your locals, bro, but God, Trey, we love you, man. But damn, boy,
This Dark Bro and Vegex only.
My goodness, boy, Jesus.
Mr. Vegeta and Dark Burley only.
Right.
I mean, that's not the only decks I play. I play other decks, but if I were to go to competitive events, hands down it'd be these. They don't understand. These decks have literally floodgates that just say, I'm playing cards for free, and I'm playing a fair game by playing floodgates.
Those floodgates will do very little against any player that knows how to play against them.
Bro, you can't.
Very little.
Okay, my friend.
They don't do anything.
Okay.
They don't do anything.
That's not what my track record says during our events, my friend. I'm telling you right now. And I played against some best of the best, bro. Like, floodgates, one game. Playing cards for free and then tapping energy for floodgates, that is an insane combo. That's all I can say.
The free part is what makes the deck good. It's not the floodgate. I promise you it's not.
No, it's not. You're right. You're 100% correct. But playing the floodgates on top of the free cards is just insane. It's just like, well, damn. That's
I
just.
have Vegeta built right here. It's not the floodgates wins the game.
If you
It's
have
not.
all right, let's talk about Vegex before, like when Vegex was Vegex, right? At full power Vegex, what won you the game? It wasn't. Yes, Bibity was cool. Yes, all that good stuff was cool. But honestly speaking, if you had one of a floodgate on board in the mirror match, it was game. And it's not the fact that I'm playing these guys for free. No, like a floodgates would win you that matchup because you would go to your 3, pitch 2. Oh, it's not once per turn, pitch 2 more. Oh, you had 2 on board. Oh yeah, buddy, you're gonna pitch 4. Like floodgates on top of free
In
equals.
certain matchups, they will win you the game. Some certain.
Lord have mercy. All right, let me get my closing comments. Let me make sure there's no, before I get my closing comments, there's no last minute questions, comments, or concerns. Let me shout out DMs real quick. Aren't you known as the Invoker player? Trey is the Trunks man. Damn, they're calling people out. They're saying Sublett is the Invoker player. Trey is the Trunks man. All right, guys, what am I? What's Frisco? And what's Giancarlo? Let me hear. Sing out there. Go ahead. Go real quick before I get my closing comments. So we have Invoker man. We have Trunks man. Go ahead. Oh, I think Giancarlo's name tag says it all.
I
The
mean,
Lord forgives.
Somebody heard me say some bad words. I'm not gonna apologize. I don't care.
What the hell happened now? But yeah. So go ahead, guys. All right. I guess we have D-Bro for who? Okay, I'll get my closing comments when you do that. So closing comments, right, guys? Make sure you guys are just ready. Like the season is coming back. In real life events are coming back. We are pretty much back into it. Like, stay on the lookout for. I think it should be by the end of this month or mid this month when those events get announced. We will see what's up with those, and then from those, I'm gonna try to do my best to work in the Pro Play Tour events from those actual TOs who were selected, because I don't see why not just to piggyback off of it, since Bandai's piggybacking off of our scale shots fired. But yeah, other than that, be safe. You guys ever want, like I said, those in-depth, like really deep, like more in depth than Teen Talks, bro? I highly recommend that you guys just go into the Patreon itself, because the Patreon has, I'm talking about like really long. It's not the length, right? In my opinion, it's the quantity over quality. Like, no, I said backwards. The quality over quantity. So when I tell you like the deck profile that I did, guys, I went step by step on like everything, and that's how listening to a video like that or listening to one of the past videos, one of the future videos that's going to come out. That's how, as a player, you will learn really, really, really quick on the fly of how to play the game. So, other than that, thank you guys for tuning in, and like always, be safe, guys. Have fun. Make sure to have these bad girls ready, because tournaments are here. I'm going to show you right now. Tournaments are here. So pick them back up. I know they'll hype back down, but pick them back up. Pick them back up. And yeah, we will see you guys. Today's Wednesday. So we will see you guys on a Friday. Take it easy, guys.
Yes, sir.